Welcome to the Tech Titan Webinar Wednesday series with Intermedia. So I want to thank you for joining us and taking time out of your busy schedule to attend today's webinar. My name is Kim Withrow. I'm the manager of the sales engineering team at Intermedia. And today we're going to be going over the integration between Elevate and Salesforce. But before we get started, I just want to make sure that everybody can hear me. So if you wouldn't mind, if you could give me a thumbs up or a smiley face or a clapping using the emojis. Excellent, excellent. Thank you for that. Wonderful. All right, so Intermedia's Webinar Wednesday is a series of webinars that takes place every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So it's broken up into two separate tracks, which you can see here on the screen. The first track is the Business Builder track, and then the second track is the Tech Titan track. The Business Builder track is designed to help you as a partner grow your business and ultimately your success with Intermedia. And the Tech Titan track, which today's webinar is a part of, is designed to give you live demos and deep technical dives into features that can bring, real value to you and your customers. I would really like to hear from you. So I created this email address, techtitan@intermedia.net. I'd really like to get your suggestions and ideas on topics that you would like to cover. I want to make sure that these webinars are bringing value to you as a partner. And so I'm really open to suggestions and looking forward to hearing any suggestions that anybody has. All right, so today we're going to be taking about 30 minutes of your time. The first 20 to 25 minutes or so will be the actual presentation, and then the last couple of minutes will be reserved for a Q&A. So if you have questions, please use the built-in Q&A functionality by clicking on that blue question mark square on the top center of your screen. That's going to open a little dialog box, and you can type your question in there. That works much better than putting it in the chat. If you do put it in the chat, we'll try to get to it as well. But by using the built-in Q&A section, we'll definitely give those priorities. Now, in order to be invited to today's webinar, you had to be a Unite certified partner. But I wanted to talk about the certification process just a little bit in case there's other people in your organization that perhaps could use to get a Unite certified as well. So it only takes a couple of hours to complete, and it really gives you a nice overview of the Elevate platform, and it gives you everything you need to know to start selling it right away. There's also some sales engineering tracks in our Intermedia University, so I really encourage you to look through there and take advantage of the classes that are available to you as a partner. It'll really help your abilities to support your customers and help your ability to sell our products as well. And then once you're certified or once you've done some of your trainings, we want to make sure that everybody is aware of our NFR account. So NFR stands for Not for Resale. It's an account that you can use for your company and allows you to get certain Intermedia services at either a steeply discounted rate or sometimes entirely free. So this is to support you in terms of that. We believe that the best way to sell a product is to actually use it yourself. And by using it yourself, you'll understand it better. So if you do not have an NFR account, there's a couple different ways you can sign up for one. You can contact your partner account manager. You can also call the number that's on the screen right now. And additionally, you could also email that techtitan@intermedia.net email address that I showed earlier, and that would I could get you set up with your NFR card that way as well. All right, so now I'd like to turn things over for our presenter for today. If you've attended any of these Tech Titan webinars in the past, then you'll probably be very familiar with Aaron Roberts. Aaron is one of Intermedia's sales engineers, and he's been with the company for over 3 years. But prior to that, he worked for over 2 decades in the voice and networking field. He was super critical in the creation of the Elevate product. He was very involved with that, and he worked with our product team and our development team to make sure that we were creating a product that would do well in the market. And he works with partners like yourselves daily to support their selling from a technical perspective. Oh, I forgot to forward the screen. Sorry about that. Anyway, that's a picture of me and Aaron there. I'm on the top and Aaron is down there on the bottom. And okay, so that's it. I'll go ahead and turn things over to Aaron. Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you, Kim, and appreciate everyone coming again to the Tech Titan webinar that we're doing. And saw some familiar faces down in the bottom. Hopefully you're all excited as I am to talk about the Unite Extend product, and specifically its application in Salesforce.com. The Salesforce.com integration to Unite is one of many integrations. And if you were to navigate to our public website and go into the Unite then integrations, you'll see the Extend product referenced. And Extend is a umbrella reference to any of the integrations that we have within Unite today. And as you can see, it isn't limited to just Salesforce.com. We have other CRM, other productivity tools, help desk tools. ServiceNow, Zendesk are some that you very likely are using already today. And these different integrations are similar in how they interact with Unite, in that it is a phone system, so it has limited amount of data that can be pressed back and forth between the tools. And then ultimately, the individual tools have their own experience that we're going to drill down today into Salesforce. When we look at the Salesforce.com integration, I guess the best way to talk about it, in my opinion, is to give some perspective of what's happening when we do this sort of integration. In this interface, what we're looking at now is the Salesforce Lightning, and this is a very, very generic Lightning account that we use just to demonstrate this one function, because otherwise we don't use this tool in a day-to-day environment in our office. So while this might not look very appealing from a data perspective, what it will offer us is the ability to see the interaction with the Unite tool. Once it has been installed, and we have a knowledge base article on how to implement it into Lightning as well as Salesforce Classic, then available to the users that it's been enabled will be a new button down here inside the Salesforce interface that's labeled Unite. Inside, one clicked, the Unite dial pad will come up to visible in the screen, and you could dial in a phone number here at this point and make a call directly from the dial pad. Also, we'll have a missed call log, and this is going to be all of the calls relevant to the user that is logged in to the application. And then ultimately in the settings tab, we'll be able to either one, log out, and two, the option to pick which phone is going to be the phone that calls get sent to when using this application. So with that in mind, I'm going to log out and show you a little bit about what that logic looks like. When you first come into your Salesforce and you're not logged into any of the Unite users that you have available, you would be prompted to sign in. When being prompted to sign in, you're going to choose some user account that has Unite enabled. In this example today, we're going to use my demonstration user, Mark Jackson here. So Mark Jackson has the Unite desktop application open on the screen right now. I'll pull it off to the side for now. And I'll log in then with Mark Jackson. And when doing so, it will then enable the application to control whatever device I designate that's associated to Mark Jackson's Unite user account. In this case, Mark Jackson has a Polycom VBX450 as well, a Windows instance of his Unite desktop. That's my desktop application that I just had on the screen. And in fact, he has a couple more folks have logged in on the other desktop applications. We know that this is the one that I have open. I'll save that now. And in doing so, I've now associated this Salesforce integrated Unite call controller to this soft phone that is my Unite desktop application. And what that means is any calls now destined for me as the user, either to the DID that's associated to my user, or to any other associated DIDs to that user, will ring not only on this phone, but also within the application, inside of the Salesforce application. And then the call would be retrieved inside of the phone. So let me demonstrate that for you. A call inbound to Mark Jackson, the user. I'll generate that call right now. And what we'll see is the Salesforce application integration light up, and it's calling over to the soft phone that's associated. It's saying, pick up the phone to answer the call. So in picking up the phone, whether it be a physical phone that is associated to the user or the desktop application like we chose in this example. In this particular instance, the Eric Martin inbound caller that I chose to call from is already associated with a company, Shazam Technologies in this case. It's already a contact record, so we have it then associated, pulled up Eric's contact record and the company that Eric's associated to, and we're given an opportunity at this point, even while we're active in the call, or if I were to end the call, I would still have also this opportunity to put in a subject and notes. And once I've done that, I'm able to call control the phone that is the desktop soft phone, either by ending the call here inside the Salesforce call controller, or I can end it here inside of the desktop application. Or if the call controller were associated to a physical desk phone, I could hang up that physical desk phone. And in doing so, we'll stop the call, leave the record option open for you to put in any additional notes at this point, and then allow the user to save and close, populating the notes specific to the record. In this case, we have it set to an account, the Shazam Technologies, and we'll be able to see then all of the activity over here on the right-hand side, checking in, here's a call inbound from Eric Martin. And then the record has a activity of the checking in that then can be navigated to, and naturally you could put in more information. This was regarding a new deal, as I noted when we first took the call. So this ability to take an inbound call to the application that is built in as a call controller to Unite requires still a phone to be answered. It can be the soft desktop application, it could be any associated phone to the user for that matter, and it can be the physical phone as well. Once the call is answered on the actual phone, then the call controller is able to interface and populate records as needed. That would be a call example of an inbound call for a known contact within the system. If we were to call from an unknown contact inbound to the user that has the integration with our Extend enabled within the Salesforce, you'll have a different experience. First, when the call originates, it'll show up. It'll ring the call controlled device, the desktop application. I'm going to mute it so I don't hear myself. Then within our application, because this is not a known contact, we're given options to either create a new contact or a new lead. We could also relate it to an account, a case, or an opportunity. And we can create a related to a contact. So we have relation options, and we have the ability to navigate or designate a new contact as either a contact or a lead when having the new unknown caller inbound to the user. Even if left blank, we would still have a record of the log inside of Salesforce. It just wouldn't have any reference to any opportunity, account, or contact. That might be an example of an inbound call from an unknown caller. The ability to manage multiple calls might come to mind as well. So if we were to look at, for example, a inbound call, let's have multiple callers come in, and I'll generate a call to the user. I think. Okay. Now we're inside of our application, and I'll have another call come in to give another example of what that would look like. So the additional call now is coming in to the agent or to the user, and we can see now that we have the two different call instances within the integrated Salesforce application. We can end either of the calls as a call controller, and we're also able to end both calls, and ultimately they'll both stay open because we still have an opportunity to put notes into the record and associate it to some record or or make it a new contact before we are forced to save and close it as an end record or as an end item. This integration is available in Classic as well as in Lightning. This has been Lightning, but as far as the integration goes and as far as how it look and feel of the application, it's the same. We can see that within the different objects that the call might be associated to, they'll be designated as such. So here we could see a call is logged with Eric, you logged a call with Aaron, you logged a call with Aaron regarding the new Magic Carpet opportunity. So now this is an associated call to an opportunity versus to the account explicitly. So this sort of association can be done on those inbound calls. When you want to call from the application, we can click the call from within Salesforce by clicking the phone number. And in doing so, it'll immediately instigate the call controller to tell my desktop app, in this case, to generate a call. And now, once I answer on the desktop app, it generates the call to my actual user, where I'm able to then populate similar information to what we saw, same information what we saw earlier with regard to a subject, notes, and association to either a contact, a opportunity, or into a counter case, I should say. So that would be what a click to call from the application would feel like. In summary, the desktop integration, or rather the Salesforce integration from the Unite application, is going to be a call controller within the Salesforce tool that then controls an associated phone that has a registered SIP account. And that can be a desktop phone, a Unite application, or any other SIP endpoint that could take a call that's associated to the Unite user. The installation of this application for the integration has a knowledge base I had mentioned earlier. This knowledge base, as it is on the screen, goes through steps by step of exactly what needs to occur. The application itself in Salesforce's App Exchange store has a $1 per month per user charge associated. That's the minimum charge that it can have, and that's what we put it in there for. Then the whole entire knowledge base is dedicated to each step of the way to get this application enabled for the Lightning or Classic account that you're enabling the service on. As well, there's a user guide for both the Lightning and Classic versions. Similar stuff that we talked about today with regard to making calls, setting the default call control device, click to call, what that experience looks like, are available for administrators and users alike. The integration extend, I wanted just to highlight one more time that it's not limited to Salesforce. We also have integrations with the other large CRMs and different tools that you might use for support and management of your customers. Kim, at that point, or at this time, that's about what I have to offer on this topic, and maybe we can open it to some questions and try to elaborate on it. Not too much complexity, with intention to make it a simple to use feature, we hope.
Okay, great. Well, so just want to encourage folks to enter in questions using that blue question mark square at the top of your screen, and we do have some that have come in. So let me start those. Can you go ahead and end your screen share there?
Oh yeah, sure, of course.
Okay, let's see. So how can I get other company individuals to the university area without giving a lot of access to the partner portal? Oh, okay. That's a good question, Jan. So, within the partner portal, you can create access levels based on a couple of different criteria. And so if you're interested in that, Jan, what I can do is I'm going to have your partner account rep reach out to you and work with you on it, because we do have different roles that allow different levels of access to the partner portal. And so we just need somebody to talk with you, figure out, what exactly you want to give them access to and not give them access to, figure out which role fits that. And then that would be how they would access that. Anything to add to that, Aaron, at all?
Nope, I don't think so. You better understand than I do in that case.
Are there plans to add additional call control options within the app rather than just hang up? So that's from Jeremy. I'm assuming that means like, I don't know, transfer or maybe
Yeah.
conference or something like that. Have you heard anything about that at all, Aaron?
No, I don't, and I don't suspect that's the direction it will go, only because it is a call controller that then the fully functioning device that it's controlling has those features built into it, presumably, like our desktop app or a physical phone. Not to say there wouldn't be value in having some call controller function besides hang up inside the interface. My instinct is that the simple answer is probably not today, but that's something we could consider putting on the roadmap. But I do see some value to the idea of being able to transfer from it from the integration. But what we're really trying to do, I think, with the integration is provide a logging mechanism and an answering mechanism that allows you to quickly access the contact's record with regard to their company opportunity or their own contact record and to log a call. Uh, that's been the direction we were pushed by folks wanting this integration, but I could understand that there could be some more function. So great question and good, and we'll take it as feedback as well.
Yes, thank you for that. Okay, great. Will this integrate with Contact Center Pro?
Yes, there is a whole nother topic around that, not surprisingly, and there's different integrations depending on needs, and the same sort of call controller though is essentially functionally one of the things that the call controller within the Contact Center Pro and Elite have available to it. So while it's a different integration, it does the similar types of function: association to a record, creation of a new lead or a contact or record, and ultimately the ability to put notes into those records. In the most simple answer, but so that's the long answer to yes.
Excellent. Okay. Okay, so what is the link for the KB article for the Salesforce side? So
Great.
Brad, I mean, I was just putting some links in the chat to our articles, but now reading the question again, it's looking like you're looking for a link to a Salesforce article. Is that how you read it too, Aaron?
Oh, now I see it. Yeah, I think it would be in their app exchange. I suspect would be a link to that, and I can get that from. Yeah, I could put that into the chat here in a minute, I believe. We can go to the next question if
Okay.
it's all right.
Okay. All right, great. Yeah, sorry, I read that question wrong and I was putting in the links to the KBs that we have. Can you use Salesforce Essential for CRM integration? Boy, I'm not sure about that one. How about you, Aaron? Have you heard of Salesforce Essential?
I'm ignorant to that license, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
If it's founded technologically in Lightning or Classic, then I suspect the answer is yes. But if it's not founded in its technology in Lightning or Classic, then I'm going to be less confident.
Mm-hmm. So Yoshio, what I can do is I can take that as an action item to follow up with you. I think I can ask the development team about that and and get back with you via email on that one. So. Okay. Can the call subject contain a pull down for easy reporting in SFDC from Karen?
No, it does not have. It's only a field that can be populated and not that it will pre-populate with information.
Okay.
So and as a side note, I did put a link into the App Exchange inside of Salesforce's interface to their appexchange.salesforce.com, but it doesn't, and I'm not even certain if they write their own knowledge base articles. Looking at the App Exchange link that I just shared, the knowledge base articles that they reference from salesforce.com are all links to our knowledge base articles. So my estimate is that they don't write their own version of these sort of knowledge base articles for their App Exchange members or their app providers like we are and others, I'm sure. they rely on us to write the knowledge base if I were to estimate that. I'm a little bit ignorant to their process, except to say that I appreciate they have one.
Excellent. Yeah. Okay. Once the information of the call is entered, does it show up as a task or an activity? That's from Karen.
Shows up as an activity.
Okay. Good. Excellent. And once the call has ended, are you still able to continue updating, or do you need to go to the contact? That's also from Karen.
You're able to continue to update that one record. So for example, on the screen, oh, you can't see my screen. I was showing something earlier. My bad. I forgot we weren't sharing. In any case, when
go ahead. You can share it again now if you want to.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, no problem. So in this example I have right now, this is the last call we did inside of the application, and it's still open because it does give you exactly what that question revolves around: time to put in this information, especially if you have another call or multiple calls come in that you can't get to all of these immediately, and so they could stack up. But ultimately, it's not going to close until you choose the save and close, or if I suspect you were to close out of the entire application. But even when you came back in, it would still have this as waiting to be resolved as an item to be logged. So ultimately, it won't save it until you click save and close, and then it puts it into the actual record.
Okay, great. We had a couple of questions come in via the chat. So the first one is, has this app been quote unquote certified by Salesforce? And I'm a little bit, like you were saying, Aaron, a little ignorant on the process of getting into App Exchange for Salesforce, but I'm kind of thinking that in order to even be in there, it would have to be certified, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Do you know the answer to that, Aaron, by any chance?
Not explicitly. I'm like you. I would think it would require it. And I can say this anecdotally, that I sat in a room with Salesforce.com consultants coming into our office in order to make this integration. So I suspect if they're dedicating human resources to the project as we are, that it is certified, but I won't, that's just that's a guess on my part, but I would estimate that it's certified to be required certification to be on their App Exchange.
So Eugene, what I can do for that question also is, like I said earlier, is I can ask our developers and get some clarification on that exactly. And in addition, another question from Eugene is, will Salesforce give support if there is an issue on the Salesforce side of the app? I wouldn't see why they wouldn't. Salesforce would give whatever kind of support they would normally give.
Yeah.
Again, I can try to get some. Yeah, go ahead. What were you going to say, Aaron?
I suspect you're right in that they're going to do what they can on their end. When it comes to the actual application capability and functionality, then they're going to have a limited support role. They would be able to say, if you were to look over the installation instructions, let me bring it up here. There are steps that occur inside of Salesforce with regard to enabling the call center adapter, the computer telephone integration interface, open CTI API component. These are all things that are enabled within.
And we're not seeing your screen at all.
Golly, I did that again. I'm so used to having my screen open. Apologies to everybody. I hope you're getting at least a chuckle out of that one. Let me open this back up again. So here we're looking at the inside of the Salesforce piece. They would likely be able to help potentially with this stuff, in that this is their interface and their configuration options. But as far as why functionally it was working or not working, they would probably be limited to saying, okay, well, in your apps, in your app manager, you have this enabled, and that's what it's supposed to be. And here's what it's supposed to be, configured as. So I suspect they'd give a limited amount of support. They would support their product, presumably, but they would likely guide any user to come to, well, probably to us for support if they weren't able to help. There's some guessing in on that. I don't have a for sure answer, but that would be, I believe, how most vendors, when another partner's product is available, would be able to support. So sort of like an Outlook integration, or Outlook extension, Microsoft wouldn't necessarily be able to support it except to make extensions enabled or disabled, to use an example.
Exactly. Perfect analogy. All right, so that's all the questions that we've gotten today. Thank you everybody for your participation and your questions. Really appreciate you being involved. Thank you, Aaron, so much for going over that. And we're going to end almost exactly on time, just 1 minute over. Look forward to seeing folks here again in 2 weeks on September 16th for the next Tech Titan webinar. And have a great rest of your day. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.